Matthew Bible Summary to 1 Samuel 18. The bond between David and Jonatas. Saul goeth about to slay David. David marrieth Michal, the daughter of Saul. The 18th chapter. And when he had made an end of speaking unto Saul, the soul of Jonatas was knit with the soul of David, insomuch that he loved him as his own soul. And Saul took him that day, and would let him go no more home to his father's house. And Jonatas and David bound themselves the one to the other, for Jonatas loved him as his own soul. And Jonatas put off his own coat that was upon him, and gave it David, and thereto his mantle, his sword, his bow, and his girdle. And David went out to all that Saul sent him, and behaved himself wisely. And when Saul had set him over his men of war, he pleased all the people, and Saul's servants thereto. And it happened as they went, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistine, that women came out of all cities of Israel, singing and dancing against Saul, with timbrels, with joy, and with fiddles. And the woman that played sang thereto, and said, Saul hath slain his 1,000, and David his 10,000. Then was Saul exceeding wroth, and the saying displeased him. And he said, They have ascribed unto David 10,000, and to me but 1,000. And what can he more have, save the kingdom? Wherefore Saul looked on side of David from that day forward. And it happened on the morrow, that the evil spirit sent of God came upon Saul, so that he prophesied in the midst of the house. And David played on the instrument with his hand, as he was daily wont. And Saul had a spear in his hand, and hurled it, intending to have nailed David to the wall. But David avoided out of his presence 2 times. For Saul was afraid of David, because the Lord was with him, and was departed from Saul. And then Saul put David from him, and made him a captain over 1,000, and he went out and in before the people. And David was wise in all that he took in hand, and the Lord was with him. Wherefore, when Saul saw that he was so exceeding wise, he was afraid of him. But all Israel and Judah loved David, because he went out and in before them. Then said Saul to David, Behold, my eldest daughter Merab, her I will give thee to wife. Only play the man, and fight the Lord's battle. For Saul thought, Mine hand shall not be upon him, but the hand of the Philistines. And David answered Saul, What am I, and what is my life, or the kindred of my father in Israel, that I should be son-in-law to the king? Howbeit, when the time was come that Merab, Saul's daughter, should have been given to David, she was given unto Adriel, a Meolotite, to wife. Howbeit, Michal, Saul's daughter, loved David. And when it was showed Saul, the thing pleased him well. And he said, I will give him her, that she may be a snare to him, to bring the hand of the Philistines upon him. And Saul said to David, Thou shalt this day be my son-in-law again. And Saul commanded his servants to commune with David secretly, and say, Behold, the king hath a favor to thee, and all his servants love thee. Be therefore the king's son-in-law. And Saul's servants spake those words in the ears of David. But David answered, Seemeth it to you a light thing to be a king's son-in-law, when I am a poor man and of small reputation? And Saul's servants told him again, saying, Of this manner answered David. Then said Saul, This wise say to David, The king careth for no other dowry, but for 100 foreskins of the Philistines, to be avenged of the king's enemies. For Saul thought to make David fall into the hands of the Philistines. Then his servants told David these words, and it pleased David well to be the king's son-in-law. And shortly after David arose with his men, and went, and slew of the Philistines 200 men, and brought their foreskins, and satisfied the king thereof to be his son-in-law. And so Saul gave him Michal his daughter to wife. And when Saul saw and understood how that the Lord was with David, and that Michal his daughter loved him, he was the more afraid of David, and became David's enemy forever. And when the Philistines went out to war, David behaved himself wiselier than all the servants of Saul, so that his name was much set by.